Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Mark from NAS Aero Systems.
Hey, what's up, people? Dave here from Dipsil. Just getting our details down. Don't mind me, I'm typing, but I'll be with you in a moment.
Yep. So, yeah, we had some music going, but I noticed that we can't chat and the music play in the background. For whatever reason, my setup doesn't like that at the moment, so I'm going to have to figure out something for the future.
Were you trying to make it so that there's music playing constantly?
I was trying to make it just so it was low, like during the pre-screen, the waiting screen. So,
yeah, because we got to work on our.
I had it a little bit.
Start and ending there, yeah.
I had it a little bit. I can do. So yeah, don't mind us. We're kind of.
We'll get into this. I promise. I'll be done quick. I'm just finishing the description so you read it right.
Okay, so.
I always like to build something.
Oh, was that a? I did it that way. Dang.
Oh my God! Would you stop it?
Oh man, I did it that way. I'm gonna have to go back to that file. Where's that file at?
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Why does it always put database in here now? I don't need it to be database. It's database.
I need to go through my hard drive and clear it out. So, matter of fact, I don't want to do that right now. Like, I don't want to do that right now. I don't have time for that right now.
Okay, people. So we're here. We're live.
Okay. So yeah, the ending screen will have to be for next week because I don't have one, because what you see, they obviously can't see, but this screen is one page. The text is with the picture.
Oh.
So either we can find a new picture and everything else, or I can change the text in the file and save it differently. So I have two pictures, same picture, two different texts.
Well, that's cool, because it would be nice to alter it some. It doesn't have to always be consistent, but it can, obviously.
Yeah. Yep. I think I have an idea, but I'll work on that, and we'll probably have it for next week. So it won't be this week. Now we can get it to that way.
Just bloody go! God, go! What are you doing?
Yep. So as you can tell, we're going to be talking about roles and debating on roles. Something we kind of do periodically.
We do. I know. It's not discussing it. I feel everybody has got a good handle of them, at least. And if they don't, we could always do a one-on-one.
Yeah, because basically the way I look at it is, if you've ever worked in administration or any sort of documenting field, logistics, IT, there's things called living documents where it's a document that you're working on, but it's constantly changing and adding to and taking away. It's kind of how these roles go. They're like living, breathing things, and they kind of change as life goes on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Because you think about what 15 years ago, there was 5?
Yeah.
I mean, we literally had 5.
Yeah. Oh, can you believe this? Firefox wants to update.
Of course.
You're going to have to wait, dude. I'm not doing this right now.
Dagnabbit, would you get out of the way? Pry fly, people. Pry fly.
Pry fly. There you go. Of which Mark should make more of. But he's working on it.
I am. So a little bit of update on that. One of the jobs posted online. I have applied, updated my resume twice to kind of tweak it as I've done that, and updated the application. The job announcement closes next Friday. After that, if I make it past the HR portion, then, which I'm pretty sure I will, comes the interviews. There will be 2 sets of interviews. The first one will be with the previous supervisor of the position, who got a promotion and still within house, and 2 other supervisors that will be peers, because this is a supervisor position in Tampa.
Okay.
If I make it past the first interview, which I'm pretty sure I will, the second interview is with the second in charge or assistant chief of the department, who happens to be someone I know. And if I get to that point, I'm pretty much a shoo-in at that point to get the position.
Not a boot in, a shoe in.
Yeah, you know. But, so it's not really a give me job, but because I have to get past the first 2 layers of the process first, which in my eyes are really not that easy. Even though I know them and I know how to get past them,
What's going on, man?
This isn't guaranteed. So,
Right.
So it's still kind of nerve-wracking for me. Oh, I put them backwards. My bad.
Oh no, that's fine the way it is. I don't care.
Okay.
I like
What's
the fact you
going
got the
on,
one with
brother?
the clouds.
What's going on, Taper?
You I saw your news about you're gonna make the A11 next. That looks cool.
I saw that he posted a video. I have not watched it. His recent one. Let me look. Let me look. Oh crap! Not that. That's not what I'm looking for.
I needed to
That's
get
not what I'm
Robert.
looking
I'm
for.
sorry. I needed to get with you. We still need to get with you on like I said, how we're gonna do your lineup. I'll have
Yep.
to. I could run something down. If you got I think you gave me the email address or something. Although we could still do it through Facebook. But like if you got a hold of the sheets, I think I shared with you the sheets. So if you got the sheets, you can tell exactly how, which planes you got to fulfill the roles. Oh, and that's what I was wanting to talk about, dude. While we're on it, let's segue into that real quick. The
Okay.
roles.
Yep.
All I really wanted to speak about is, like I said, I don't want to go in depth with it because we talk about that like often. But I just want to say is, do you guys feel that there's enough, too many, or too little? I mean, we've got them all the way we need them, right? I'm especially asking you guys, well, you two especially, Robert, Mark, and you, because you guys, I don't think, fill all of them out. Well, hell, I don't fill all of them out because you don't have enough planes. But it's like, I mean, I've got squadrons that have, say, a patrol fighter. I've got squadrons. I've got a Hatro trainer. You guys don't have those yet. You're working on it, but I mean, is it just expansion, or do we need them, or?
Honestly, I like them if you have them. You know what I'm saying? The trainers and stuff.
Right.
They're nice to have if you have them, but for the most part, I won't say that they're not needed because they're not. They're just not primary.
Right. Right. No, exactly. And
it's not like you. It's not like you have to build them.
Right.
But
no, I'm definitely you couldn't gain. You don't. It's not like you don't gain entrance without them. But I was just curious because, I mean, you're right. You don't. Technically, you don't need them, but I do like people to be creative, make some more designs. That way, you have more things to do.
Yep. I will say I did attempt to get out there and fly, but that did not go well. I literally went to the field, pulled the few planes out that I was going to fly, and I got out there, and as soon as I got out of the car and stepped onto the field, it was worthless. And it wasn't because the field was wet. The field was dry. The wind was ridiculous.
Oh, the wind again. Yeah.
I mean, literally just insane. Like, I mean, it wasn't like blowing like 30, 40 miles an hour wind, but I mean, I live so close to the ocean right now that there's nothing really blocking it coming from off the ocean.
Right. Right.
I mean, Florida's so stinking flat, and
it was bad enough in North Carolina.
Right, where I was at, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that was further away than what I am now. Way further away. You're talking, what? It was a 45-minute drive to the beach?
Something like that.
But it was a straight shot. And you could feel the wind. I live 5 seconds from the beach. Literally, if I was driving, I'd be there in less than 2 minutes. If I'm walking, I can be there in 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Well, that's not quite literally 5 seconds then, is it?
No, but I'm talking. I'm literally across the street from the beach.
Ah, right.
Like, no, I cannot see it because of the way it's laid out. But, so I'm not as close as I was in North Carolina at my other place, by Fort Macon. That was like on the island.
Right.
But,
I believe it would be. But, man, Robert, yours are so, like I said, the way you build yours, probably not as bad, right? I mean, probably not.
And honestly, I probably should test something like that because I don't think I would have that problem.
No, yeah, I know. And his,
as much.
Like his are, you take them up hard.
As much. Because I literally got out there and just use Thunderbolt as an example. I was out there and I'm holding it like this, getting ready to throw it. And all it's doing in the back is just doing this. Like, literally the whole back end of the plane is just flapping. I'm like, that's not going to work.
You're definitely not going to find anything.
And I tried, positioning myself in a different way to try to, catch the wind differently. No, the wind was just blowing at like 60 degrees, or I should say not a 60 degrees, but what's I'd say out of 360 degrees, it was a good 75% of that circle, whatever that percentage is, degree is, radius, I'm talking about Pac-Man type thing. That's pretty much where all the wind was coming. It was like funneling in from the 3 directions. And I'm like, well, it's not coming from that way, but it's coming from everywhere else and pushing that way. I'm like, this doesn't work. I can't throw it that way because it's going to flip out of my hand. I can't throw it into the wind because it's going to flip behind me.
So what did you bring out there to fly?
I brought out React. I didn't take it out of the car because I wanted to test Ikron and Dagger. I brought those 2 out of the car, and I brought out the new Firecat out of the car. I brought those 3 out of the car, but I took everything that I'd been working on with me. They're still in the car. They've been in the car for like a week. They've actually held up really well. Because they're not getting to the humidity or the hot and the cold and the hot and the cold. Even though the outside temp is fluctuating between 50 and 80. And the humidity is fluctuating. Right. It's not getting to the planes because they're sitting inside the vehicle. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Yeah. And I'm not expecting them to, to live forever out there, but they've been out there a week and they've been fine. They've actually held up better than they have in here. Because they don't get tossed around a lot. They're just sitting there on the seat.
That's actually refreshing to know. I mean, that, they're lasting that long in situations like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like I check them every morning when I go out, and I'm like, oh, this is not bad at all. Like, it's really not affecting the paper really at all, which is kind of cool. But it's frustrating because, like, it started to rain tonight.
Oh, God.
Like, really?
Next 3 days.
I'm like, really? Like, I was just out there yesterday. I was trying to fly. Couldn't do it. It's too windy. It was raining over the weekend. It was raining all last week, like 2 weeks before. It finally dried up enough to go outside, and temp was nice. Humidity was low. Well, I say low for us, but humidity was low. It was like 60%.
That's low.
That's low for us, yeah.
I mean, that's low enough to fly in for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it might have even been lower. Let me look. What's it at right now?
Robert's eating this up too because I know he's got to be in the same boat. You know, I mean, like Georgia ain't much better.
It's 55% humidity outside with 70 degrees, so it's really not bad. But
Actually, it's not bad.
It's tomorrow's supposed to be windy. Friday's supposed to be rainy. Saturday says extreme wind. Sunday is thunderstorms. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, all next week it's supposed to be sunny.
Oh, so maybe there's a chance.
Maybe next week. So hopefully Monday or Tuesday before the show.
All right. Well,
If
cool.
it's not soaked from Sunday, but hopefully by Tuesday it'll be dry.
Yeah.
Even by Monday afternoon it might be dry.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, if you get enough sun, yeah, it might be even.
I mean, it's supposed to be in the 80s.
Morning sun be enough.
It's supposed to be in the 80s. So.
Good God.
What?
80 degrees.
What? It's wintertime.
It's freaking January.
Yeah, it's wintertime. It was 55 this morning when I went outside.
It was 15 this morning when I went outside.
I don't speak that language.
Yes, I said it right. 1-5. Actually, that's not true. When I got in the car said 12.
What
so.
in the world?
Yeah, why did my name come up there? I see that.
There must have been some update.
Interesting.
That's annoying as crap.
How come I don't see it on yours?
I want to.
It must just be. Oh, it must just be for you because you're sharing the screen. It's the program, right?
Yeah, it's the program.
I know we do need flight videos. That's why we keep trying to get out there. But like, I'm stuck in winter hell, and he's stuck in. You heard the cycle: wind and rain.
Yeah.
I mean, believe me, I want to get out there. I think I can post. I think I can. I'm sorry. I think I can actually put a couple of videos up, but they would be older. Still be some. And I usually do. It depends on what it is. I usually post it up on the other channel. You know, like my
the personal channel. Yep.
Yeah, depending on what it is. You know, I mean, like, there's really no rhyme or reason. Sometimes I'll put them there. Sometimes I'll put them here. But here is so far. It's kind of predominantly our shows. But yeah, you're right. We can put some up in here too. You guys can do that too, though. You know, link them up in here and get them up in here. And I would like to feature more than just mine in the channel. So by all means, Robert, I know you don't know your lineup, but like I said, we'll help you along with it just to make sure we got.
Yeah.
You've got more than like 8 planes.
Daggone sheet at.
Yeah, you could flash the screen up again with the rolls. Just to, again, a quick glance for Robert's sake, and just say like, hey, if you've got whatever you got is the A11 is probably too new, but you know, if you got something fills out the interceptor, the attacker, long range, short range, blah blah blah, a bomber, you know, not entirely necessary, but I'm just pointing some out. You got like 6 or 7 well covered. You're covered, and then you just expand from there. Because Rob, I know you got more planes than that.
What's it listed under?
It should just be IVPAC rolls, isn't it? I can double check that, but I think that's all.
Is that which one it is?
Yeah, it should be.
Nope, I got it.
Okay.
All right, so we are going to.
Me and OAE
are
working. Me and OAE are working behind the scenes trying to get this damn designators working out.
So-
But I'll get into that in a minute.
So as you guys can see here, and I'll zoom in for you guys as well. I'll zoom in here, right here.
Hey, yeah, look at that. Ooh, that's nice.
So we honestly, you should probably, not saying you have to, but you should probably highlight the ones that are primary. Kind of like the core 5. Kind of like the core 5, but not, I mean, we got more than 5 now.
Well, no, that's why they have the colors the way they do. The top yellow 5 are the primary, the core 5, and then the golden one, the next one's down is like the next step that's recommended, and then the next step down, that darker orange, I can't remember. Down lower on the screen, it shows you a guide to the colors, but that's exactly what it is.
Oh,
See, Core 5 roll, recommended next
Gotcha.
expansion, full expansion, and then the others are not really not needed, but if you have them, we could use them.
gotcha. I didn't see that. I zoomed in too much. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
And yep, and there's your ranges.
There's the
Right there.
ranges, yes.
So you got that. And I also like this little bar graph right here.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you an idea of exactly what is what. Like how far they need to fly in relation to each other.
In relation to each other, correct. I thought that might come in a little bit handier. Yeah,
Oh, it's perfect. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that does need to be, and the actual the actual flight plan itself
right.
is good. It lets you know kind of a description of what it should be. It doesn't have to be, but it should be. And then you go over, and then you start seeing which actual
Other people's
planes,
planes
yeah,
give
the
you an
actual
idea.
design
Yeah.
that fills that role.
So if we're talking about a particular one and you know it, then you know exactly. Oh, so we're talking about his interceptor or his attacker. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Javelin.
So. And Robert, yeah. See, so if you make a bomber twice that size, that'll definitely be a heavier bomber. So again, that's like, I mean, the Core 5 is great, but obviously bleeding into any of the next 7 that are in there would be obviously could be fine too. And I'm sure like between me, Mark, and you and OAE, everybody that's in has usually got at least 10. So I mean, you're more than covered. But obviously, the heavier planes, heavier airlift, heavy bomber, those are typically considered to be bigger than all the rest. Your smaller ones, the combat fighters, the interceptor, I mean, there's no limit to. If you make a big one, you can have a big one. Just because you make an interceptor, like ours are usually, what's Thunderbolt? 9 inches? 8 inches?
Actually, yeah, let me look.
It's like a Javelin is 6.5 to the tips. Actually, no, I think it's about 7. Nose tip to Delta Diamond tips. But I mean, if you make one smaller, you make one that's
Heck, no,
actually
I can't-
16 inches. It doesn't matter.
Can't count right now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the tip.
8 to the tip. Okay. See, so
Yeah, 8 to the tip.
they're various sizes. I also know from experience, like KIA's
Is that right?
Apex.
Is that right?
Well, is it to the back tips, or just the rear wing?
Oh. No, that's right. Because this is 8.5.
Okay.
So it might be 8.5. That's what I'm saying. It's like close. It's like
Right. But I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder. If you get what you need out of a plane that's only 3 inches long, you can have a 3-inch long interceptor. You could have a 16-inch long interceptor. Just however you want to play it.
so. It's like 8.25. It's like 8.25 with this version.
8.25.
It's like 8.25.
That one's bigger though, isn't it? He's taking us back.
Yep. So this one right here, yeah. So this one is where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? V1. It is a little bit longer than the V1.
Okay. It did grow in size a hair.
Just a hair. And that could have just been the initial folds.
Okay.
Because it is a little bit less thick in the nose.
Okay.
This one is a little bit heavier in the nose.
Which
is
could
a
or
good
could not
idea.
maybe translate out to more range, right?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I need to think about that. Oh, I could. Oh, I got it. I hate you. You know what's been what's been really on my mind, like with as far as the simplest of things, is that
What?
stinking nose slant. You cut the nose at that slant angle at the front where it slants to the front.
Yeah. I know it's cool, isn't it?
It looks cool. It's kind of like a buffer, almost like a stop, to where it doesn't take as much damage, and it trims a ton of weight.
Right, which almost makes you kind of like, you got to start out with a plane that's almost kind of heavier because you lose
like
that much weight.
Like that plane, I'm like, what if I took off just a tiny bit? Just a tiny bit. What would that do?
Right.
How much would that affect? Like this one, it would probably do a number on, because this nose is super thick already. Not only that, but this is made out of what we call Dodge paper. So this is already really rigid, and for it sitting here on the desk, it's actually held up pretty well. These light creases are really good.
You usually usually not too harmed, right? I mean,
well, I've been
not
tossing
really
them
just
around,
sitting
and I've
there.
been moving them a lot. So, because I've been trying to organize, and I'm trying to get things semi-prepared. I'm trying to prepare to move.
Oh, okay.
I'm really because my goal is to be a supervisor. Don't care which job, honestly. Because honestly, within the government, grade levels are all a grade level is a grade level. No matter what you do, you're paid the same, and it's all depending on location, on whether your pay goes up or not. Tampa is a pay cut in location, but it's cheaper to live. So, and it's cheaper for me overall because I'm not paying for hotels and all the other stuff.
Your double quarter doesn't cost $8; it costs $6.
I will say some things in the area are more expensive because I won't say Tampa is touristy, but closer as you get to Disney, it is more tourist. Prices go up.
Yeah, that figures. That does figure.
So, but in relation to that, I'm not paying for hotels. I'm not paying for gas for traveling all the time. I'm not doing a lot of the things that we're doing on a monthly and bi-monthly basis. Sometimes bi-weekly.
Maybe the government will free up some finances for more construction then over there.
Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. So
we'll see what happened was.
Because one, the operations will be able to expand. Two, the actual hangar size, quote unquote, studio room, which I'm staying in right now. This confines will expand because I'm expecting it to be bigger, and some of the items that are in here will not necessarily be in the studio. So I can then transition and move things around and have multiple camera angles and this, that, and the other, and be able to put up the line and everything else and have more room. So
indeed.
With that said, plus, I mean, I can get a bigger place altogether, because the cost of living is cheaper. I know we're getting into real life scenario here, but that's really what it comes down to, is to be able to free up that stuff to be able to allow her and allow us to be able to do more things.
Well, ultimately, too. Well, okay, if you're in Tampa, it might be a little bit more of a problem. But if you do go to Orlando, you'll be so far inland that the wind may not actually be as much of a problem. Right,
but where we're going is going to be east of that. So you're already talking hour plus north inland.
Okay.
So and I'm going to be east of that. So you're talking hour and a half inland versus 2 minutes.
All right.
So I'm expecting the wind to die down drastically. The only reason why I'm not going to Orlando is because all the positions in my current field are frozen until further notice, which could mean who knows when, because we are oversealing as far as number of employees, and we are oversealing on budget because of the oversealing on employees, obviously. That's one of the reasons. So they have to get down to a certain number before they can start recruitment again. Well, even if they start recruitment again, it doesn't necessarily mean Orlando is going to open up with a position, even though they have a vacancy, because they're at 65% staffed, And if another facility in our district is at like 20 or 30 or 40% staffed, or even 50% staffed, or even 64% staffed, they're going to get the position recruitment first before Orlando. So I can't even guarantee that I would get a position there, even though they want to hire me.
Hey, OAE, what's up, man?
So that's how that's all working out. That's why I'm looking at Tampa in the meantime, because I'm trying to get there sooner than later. That was the goal for me for 2020, is to get there, to get up in that area. So
The goal.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I was going to make a cool one. Is like, okay, we have a new design. You know, like you said, you know, our challenge one time was a plane a day, just building one.
Yep.
I was thinking about, like, what about a new design of a quarter? Yeah, we've already got one. But we don't have to do that route. I'm excited about my little bird because I think I've got something, so I've been playing with it. Yeah. Anyway, got that down. So
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, get back to that though. Basically,
what we're saying though is, okay, so we're okay with the roles. Like, basically, what I just thought is, like, there's a group that you must have, and then there's some others that, like, yeah, you can build into if you have more designs. So they're okay, right? That's all I was concerned about. Like, you didn't feel there was too little, too many. There was just right. The ones we had were cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we broke it down the right way. There's some you should have or must have, and then there's some that it doesn't matter if you have, but if you do, great. OAE, all right, man, I got it. Okay, so I didn't figure it out though. All right, Mark, you can get on this. I need help anyway. Robert, from you too, maybe. All right. We're trying to figure out a way, and I've got something locked in for this. I had an idea. Okay, me and OE were dealing with our designators. All right, designators, everybody. In case you didn't know, it's a sheet me and him had worked on, and then I lost it somehow. But I've almost got it back now. I've been working on it. And Mark, I talked to you about it. It's basically giving our planes numbers, like an Air Force would, so that there is, like, say, an F-16, a B-52, blah blah blah. We're getting our numbers up there, and me and him had a discussion because he's like one of the only ones of us that has, like, a wide range of roles per one plane. Like, it's a trainer, a bomber, an attacker, and a fighter all rolled into one. So it's kind of hard to, like, if you want to put that many prefixes to it, it's like the C, B, A, F, something. Okay.
Yep.
So my thought on that is I think what we're going to do is the cutoff is 3. If you go into 4 or more, you're going to get, like, a all-encompassing designator.
Like a MAC address.
Yeah, kind of, sort. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, I mean, the number's not going to change, but it will. Like, okay, if you've got, say it's a fighter, an attacker, and it's a trainer, okay? But its primary role is attack. Yeah, but say its primary role is attack.
So it's fat.
So it's going to be TFA, and then the number.
Oh, you're just being generous.
Or it could be, okay, so it is. If it's a primary role as a trainer, it could be FAT, F-A-T, and then whatever the next trainer number is. If it goes over 3, though, then we have to go back and have an all-encompassing prefix. Now, me and OAE were wondering what that prefix could be. He was thinking, like, it could just be M for multi-role. But we can't use M because we deal with missiles, and the missiles all have M's. I thought utility with a U.
Yet.
But he was thinking, like, it's kind of a wild card in a variety of instances.
You could do XYZ.
He's got a point.
Or it could be Z.
Utility. I thought about that. Z might be the way to go. I mean, it sounds odd, but
You would. I mean, the likelihood of getting to that point is very difficult.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like Z. There's almost nothing I can think of that would use that. At least for us.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, there's not. The E could be used because, I mean, seriously, how many times are we going to be able to put electronic devices on the aircraft? I mean, almost none.
Right.
However, if we include, like,
But it could be endurance.
Right, it could be endurance. And the power up, that's electric. And if you put the power up on a paper airplane, well, then all of a sudden it becomes an E something, right? So I was thinking it kind of eliminates.
That's kind of why I was thinking about it as well. But Z is like just like more so because it's all encompassing. Like it's the last letter, so you've already gone through everything.
Right.
So there's that, or it could be. Well, you're gonna put a number with it anyways.
Yeah, there will be a number, but the thing is, he's going to have the first one. He's probably going to have all of them because I don't think I have anything that has more than 3 rolls. I try to make sure they don't.
I try not to.
Yeah, I try to make sure that doesn't happen.
Not.
He's the only one that's got to worry about it. So basically, kind of OAE is basically we're just kind of asking you, as long as it doesn't clash with something else we've got, what do you want to put up there? I mean, if you want to put a Y, you want to put a G. G is not going to be used for anything that I can think of. There are some letters that are allocated. There's a bunch that aren't. So
ground. We don't use ground.
No, not for anything that we do. No, we don't use ground. I was going to go back into the drive because there is a sheet in the drive that actually has the letters being used. Oh yeah, it is. It's in the CQR. I'm gonna take a look at it real quick here. It has letters in the back of it. A, B, C, D, F, I. Hey, actually, bring it up for us, Mark.
What?
Go check out the sheet, the CQR, the coding quick reference sheet.
Okay, hang on.
That way we can all see it real quick. Because I did this last night, or 2 nights ago. Last night? Yeah. The CQR.
You said CQR?
It's right there at the top. Yeah, there you go. Because I just did this. And go down to the 4th tab, because it's the last tab. And yeah, there's the letters. These are the letters we currently kind of use.
Okay.
Everybody taking a look at this?
Yep. Oh yeah, X is for experimental. I forgot about that.
Right. So I mean, the ones we're currently using, and then the ones we could possibly use, but that still leaves some open holes in here. And I was just trying to think of at least these are the ones I was thinking of that don't clash. Only ones I can think of at the time.
F.
Any others that we just don't use?
J.
Yeah, we could possibly use
J.
the K, but yeah, missiles.
J could be used.
Too. Yeah, J could be used. Yeah, M because we do. There's a distinct difference between missiles and rockets. So
I mean, you could call it a mutt.
The prefix for M versus the prefix for R.
You could call it a mutt.
Could, yes. But again, we use missiles. I can't use M.
But that's what I'm saying, mutt.
Well, yeah, true. I like to make the distinction between, again, a missile is something that we kind of controlled launch, like a model rocket, like anything that has a payload, versus the rockets themselves, which are just like bottle rockets, which we use for defense. So I don't really want to combine the two. Besides, historically, even if you use real world situations, that's what the M and the R are used for. So
W.
Yeah, you use a lot of the designators that the true Air Force uses. I get that. I just never. I don't use designators at all. So I mean, if it's experimental, it just doesn't get a name, and if it comes into processing, or if it comes into use, it gets a name. And
we don't really have a whole lot of letters left.
No, we don't.
So
and I don't.
I would
I
say
have some that are in permanent test, but
I would say Z.
Z is pretty good, and like he said, K is also pretty good too.
But what would it? I mean, granted, Z is. I mean, unless you double letter it.
Yeah, we could.
Because that's what you were asking me before, is what comes after Z.
Well, yeah, but that was only because actually he's got his Vulcan family. His Vulcan family is beyond 26 letters. So he's got, I think it's number 84. We were talking about this. So if it's F84A, the first Vulcan's F84A, he goes like to 31 or something like that. So it obviously runs past F84Z. So it's like, okay, after that, what are we going to call it?
And that's why I said AA.
Right. He was thinking AA. I was mentioning A Mark II or something like that, because I was also saying if they're somewhat similar in family appearance, you could say the F84B has 2 or 3 underneath it, blah, blah, blah. And that way it doesn't take up as many letters. I don't know. We'll work on that, though.
Yeah, but he's got too many daggone planes.
So anyway, but like K, J, and Z apparently are probably the best options we have.
Yep. Yeah, because like a joint fighter.
I mean, yeah, that
Like a
works
weed
really
fighter?
good.
Like a
Yeah,
weed
exactly.
fighter?
Yeah.
Joint? Gotta get that
But
joint.
he said he uses J for short-term testing. But that's your own personal use. I mean, again, if this is going to
That's
be
not.
IVPAC wide,
Yeah, you could name it. You could really use it for whatever you want, but like this is just. Are you talking about fin code?
no. This is, like I said, this is just for in the outside chance we ever actually do name, like, go by these planes like the Air Force does. You know, like I said, you have damn it, I didn't copy it to this drive, so I can't share it with you guys, or else I would. It's on my freaking OneDrive, and it's not through here either. I wonder if I can get it. But anyway, he was like, for example, the B1. Okay, the B1's not used; it's retired. But we had a B1, so the B1 was the Bull Mark One from or the Dragon Mark One from back in the day, right? Um, you can, if we call it the B1, we know that it's the Dragon. The C1 is the Bull. You know, the F1 is the Jetstreak. That's from back in the day. The first ones to get the designator. They're retired, so you won't have them again. Unless I make a F1E, that would be the next letter in line.
Yeah.
But the current ones, like, I can't remember for sure, but I think your Thunderbolt is the F-47. So if we ever were to use, like, Air Force terminology, this would be the numbers that we could all call our planes. I think Javelin's F-26. So, like, if I said, hey, I've got 3 F-26s here, you would know I'm talking about Javelins. It would take a while for us to get used to since we've been on calling them names for so long, but we could foreseeably do it. And in any case, like, he's talking about, like, he uses his, but we've never used Y for prototypes or N for permanent testing. So, I mean, they're still technically available. And, I mean, we could allocate those to permanent test vehicles ourselves. It's just we'd have to figure out something that goes in front, like we're saying, that doesn't clash with anything and everybody can agree on. M's not going to work. U's not going to work. I mean, if you don't want to use J, J is cool. Yeah, he wants to. See, that's his thing too. He wants to start with just the ones that are in service. Man, that would make it even more complex. I could do it, but that would also mean, like, you want it to be in flux at all times. Because, I mean, as a plane comes in and then another one retires, it would be kind of weird having one that's called, like, the F3 and then that retires and then we recycle back and there's another F3. It can be done. It's just we're still going to have a high amount of numbers because he's got you got so many planes. I don't know. Could you get used to calling your plane the F something?
Me? No.
Well, I mean, the nickname for all planes could stay the same. You could still have Thunderbolt. You could still have Vortex. It just would be like the A9 Vortex. You know what I mean? It's the same thing the Air Force does.
Yep.
I mean, I suppose I could get used to that. I could get used to that. It would be kind of cool. But I'm just trying to see, like he's saying, the idea is to introduce with the aircraft in service. I mean, yeah, we could do that. And that would eliminate some of the back numbers. But sequential numbering has never been the problem. It's just running into this problem of how many prefixes they have, how many letters indicating the roles.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I agree. Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry, Mark. You were kind of on the sidelines of this one because this is going on back behind you. But I mean, this is a good way to get it out and get everybody involved. Because I mean, this will affect everybody somewhat. I don't mind taking them out, but I don't mind going back and retroactively numbering them either. Especially because that's the way I did it a long time ago. I mean, I do remember my Dragon being the B1. I did it myself. The Phase 1, as it was the F-13, I believe. No, wait, I'm sorry. The F-7, way back in the day. But, I mean, to retroactive, everything that's active, starting with the currently active planes, I mean, it could be done. That would make Thunderbolt like the F-3.
Yeah, it probably would.
It probably would. I'm trying to think of exactly how many go back, like, well, what's active now versus what wasn't active. Man, like, That changes the landscape considerably. Because that means
that's a big difference.
it is a big difference,
Making me
especially
feel
considering.
like I need to change it.
Oh yeah, okay. Thunderbolt's F24. All right,
It's
so still a high number, but I mean, again, if you take out all the ones that were prior to, Javelin's F8. I was one off. Could do it. Yeah, no, and that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, as long as you have an active family member of the aircraft too, that should count, I think. Because phases will still be F5s. Oh, they're F5s. Just different blocks because they're further along than the other ones were. Did I do that in this sheet? I didn't even do that in this sheet, did I? This sheet is so stupid. I put the numbers, like everything got its own individual number. It just didn't matter. So even versions of the same family have the next number. Man, if we'd have continued with this one, the numbers would get to be, there would be like an F231.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to try to keep track of that. Jesus. So did you, speaking of which, Mark, did you said Ekron is older than Dagger or newer than Dagger?
Technically older, yes.
But your lettering is different.
Yes. It's the only one that I have like that.
Okay.
Just based on when I accepted it and when I named it.
Okay. A little weird, but I mean, hey, your plane's your factory. It gets to be the way you want it to be.
Yeah. I mean,
I gotta remember that in the sheet designator, I think, because you said Dagger's got an R, right? And Ekron's the Q.
Nope. Dagger's the Q.
Dagger's the Q. Okay, so I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I have it right on the sheet.
Ekron is R.
Okay. So we have it right.
Can't believe I'm that far down the list.
I know, you're like, that's why I said that when you brought that up. When you brought up Raptor even at P, I was like, dude, you're catching up.
What are you at? What letter are you at?
Diamant is the newest one at V.
Oh, so you're almost past. Wow.
Well, I mean, dude, you seen OAE's, man? He's at RP for crying out loud. He's been through the letters and then some.
Yeah, well, doesn't count.
Well, he uses double letter designators too, so it's not like I don't think he went through, or did he go through OEA? His just OEAA. His first one's OEAA, so he uses double letter to start off with. But that's still a whole bunch of them. To be at RP. Mine's at V, but that's because my testing is so strenuous. It takes a long time before a new design actually makes it into, like, acceptance, as you'd like to call it. So yeah, it's at V. Although this new little thing we built New Year's Day, man, this could be it, man. This could be it. I like these things.
You like them already?
I've built 6 of them. That's almost been one a day. I'm almost doing the one a days already. Yeah, but yeah, I've got 6 of them. These things are hot. They fly quite well. Although I've never built another one exactly like this one. I don't know what I did with this one that makes it as wide as it is, because all the rest of them I've made like this. And again, you can see the difference. See the width difference there. The tail's about the same, as it were. That broad tail that they have, but that wing width is definitely unique to that first one. Plus the fact that it's like that Delta Diamond on the anhedral on this one. So I'd like them to be more like that one, but they turn out like this. I don't care. These are cool. But yeah, I do like it. They fly really well, and they take a beating, and they go pretty good distance. At least indoors, they got to get outdoors. Like Robert said, I got to get them outside. You have, okay, but you called all of them F. Oh, wait, you used all of them were F. Like, you started with 292, but you started, like, where did you start? In the 200s? You started at 1. You ever have an F1? And every single plane was an F. Even if you called it like a bomber or something like that, right? I mean, please don't tell me you got F530 and then there's, well, I've got, 360Bs and then 220As and blah, blah, blah. So That just makes it sound ridiculous. I think we should. I mean, I like the J. I like what you said, Mark. When you said J for joint. I mean, I know it's not joint service, but it kind of sounds like
aircraft.
Joint aircraft. Yeah, that kind of sounds a lot better. No, the F started at 3. I mean,
you could use that for the SMA type planes.
That's true. Except if we do accept them, one of us uses them, it just becomes their role. I mean, we could put J as a preemptive fire. So, like, if it's an attack plane, it could be the JA something, but it would still be the attack plane primarily.
Well, yes, I get that, but the J would signify the fact that it's a joint aircraft of some sort, whether it's you and me or Group 7 or whatever the case may be.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So the J would signify that 2 or more people had a hand in building that plane.
Damn, you're going to eliminate the possibility of using J that way.
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
All right.
So if we do it that way.
Okay, so
I know I've been quiet for a minute. I've been kind of sitting back thinking on a lot of different things. So.
No, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Well, a lot of different things. Yeah. Well, okay. If J doesn't work, K sounds pretty good too.
But what would it stand for?
Well, I don't know.
Because I think it should match. I mean, because everything else does. I'm just kind of OCD that way.
Except for experimental.
Yes, but I get where you got that from, so I can I can go with that. That doesn't bother me. And you've had that since the beginning? Because E was always reserved for electronic?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because that was one of my initial questions.
No, it wasn't really always reserved for electronic. I mean, okay, yeah, it kind of was. I'm sorry.
I mean, 15 years ago, I believe it was.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think of electronics the way I do now because, again, back in the day, I mean, while there was radio control planes,
yeah, we didn't even have cell phones, but hardly back then.
Yeah.
To think it, yeah, you guys figured that one out.
I literally thought the only thing electronics were was like flight timing. It was like literally using a stopwatch on during the flight.
We had Walkmans and CD players.
Right? Yeah, no kidding.
Like
Discmans.
Yeah, like Mac? Really? You gonna put a Mac in your house? Those things were huge. Come on now.
It's like moving in sofas.
It's like moving in an entire house in your house. What are you talking about? Those things were massive. Those computers
and
were
drones,
ridiculous.
Dude. We are not getting into. I don't know. I wouldn't even begin to tell you how to do drones. I mean,
not that I don't think that they don't serve a purpose. That they wouldn't serve a purpose. I just don't consider it.
Oh no, him. I mean, what OAE considers drones versus what we do. Because he's talking about like drones as in planes, I'm assuming anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, OAE, but planes that you use as targets for other aircraft.
But that's kind of what we do anyways.
Well, I use that. All of mine are just older ones, like phases that are about to be retired. That's what the Palace or the Pad is for. You know,
right.
You've got two. It's like
or,
you're either going to get burned
or the flying bus.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a plane you built that's like this thing here. I mean, okay, it was testing, but it flew good, but it's not one of mine, and I'm not going to use it. This is going to go to the pad. I'm going to use this as target practice. So by that definition, it's a drone. But I'm not
you're not worried about losing it.
Anything. Yeah, and it's not. I'm not giving it a designator. It's not going to have a name and all. It's just this is a target plane. So
TP.
You know, yeah.
But
I mean,
toilet paper.
You could use if you use drone, you could use D or you could use the Q like. Again, real world Air Forces do, but
yep, no, I get you.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, K. What would it stand for? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if we researched it, we could probably find some. I don't know what. Like I said, I wouldn't count drones. Yeah, see, OAE uses a lot of the real world stuff for his designators.
Yep.
And K is good because we'll never do tanking. There's no way we're ever going to have some kind. There's no point to refueling a paper airplane for crying out loud.
No, yeah, there's no point in having a role of, tanker. It's not going to happen.
Right. So,
But what
like
would
you said,
But you don't even have.
well, I couldn't figure out either why.
You don't have the carriers on here either, though.
What do you mean? The big planes?
No, the aircraft carrier.
Oh, the aircraft. Well, yeah, but that's totally different. That's not something that flies. So its prefixes, if it gets one, would be again something like real world. So it would be
AC.
yeah, something like that. It literally, yeah, it would be something like that.
I'm sorry, that was.
It would be like it would be WAC. It would be WAC. It would be the WAC, waterborne aircraft carrier. So because in theory, I mean, like if you were really going to go all out, then like a plane that carries other planes, like our aerial demonstration teams, like the things that KIA builds, they could be AACs, airborne aircraft carriers. See how that works? But then you're clashing with attack. It just gets all convoluted. I don't want to think about that no more. It just gets ridiculous. I don't know how the real world military came up with K either, but I'm sure if you researched it, you could figure it out. But it doesn't. I mean, because you couldn't use a tanker. You can't call a tanker T because T is for trainer. It clashed with something. That's why it came up. And that's going to be our situation. It's not a matter of it stands for something. It's just a matter of, well, the letter didn't clash with something else, so we picked it. That's basically it. That's why you said Z at first. I mean, we're never going to use Z. What the hell is that going to stand for? But it is the last thing. It indicates it's all encompassing, right?
Right. Yeah. It's pretty much everything that has been done has already been done.
Yeah. I mean,
therefore, the end all. Or even ZZ, but I don't know if you want to get into double lettering.
I'll try to avoid that at least for. I mean, they have letters, but it's like double letters or triple letters in some cases. But that is just pertaining to the roles. And again, like the real world, there's a slash. So it's like the FA18. It's got F/A. So that doesn't. You ever notice that doesn't make any sense? They screwed that up before the press got involved. Like, I mean, nowadays the F-35 is called the F-35 because of the press. It used to be the Y-35 when it was or the X-35 when it was in testing.
And they just went ahead and accepted it as an F because
That's how everybody knew it, when technically it was supposed to be the F-25. That was the next one in line. They did that because of the press. And they're probably going to forever do that now, thanks to the press and civilian world trying to be friendly. But, like, the FA-18, they got wrong. Because even though they were actually, like, making a fighter, they put it so that the primary role attached to it was attack, and it would not have been the A-18. It was going to be the A-11, so they screwed up.
Yeah.
The DCF. See, man, damn. Now, if you see that. Like, if you see that and you attempt to think from, again, real world, you're thinking, if I see DCF, I'm thinking, so it's a drone cargo fighter? That's just a weird combination. I mean, again, it originated as a cargo fighter, but even that sounds odd. And then you decide to start shooting at it, so it became a drone. But that's not the case. You said that was actually a mothership, so I don't think too many of us have explored motherships. KIA is really into that, and I'm trying to get into that, but I never build anything on my poster board yet. Mark had a big enough plane for that, but he lost it.
No, I got a couple of big ones now.
Yeah, that's true. Could they launch another plane?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're big enough for that.
Yeah. Even the medium one is. I just don't know what I'm gonna name them, or how I'm gonna name them, because they're upscale Thunderbolts.
Yeah, you didn't like Thundercloud.
No.
Dude, Thundercloud is real. You know that, right? That is really
Yes,
or Thunderhead.
I know. It sounds like Thunderclap.
Yeah, that's kind of yeah. That's kind of Thunderclap sounds awkward. Okay, I get it, but Thundercloud or Thunderhead, that's different. I mean, it just sounds like a thunderstorm. You could call it thunderstorm. Well, that's a little gayer, I suppose. I don't know. This is on you. You got to figure out the name. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know because I thought I had this one named it, and then I realized I built an even bigger one, and I was like, no, I can't. Oh, what am I going to name that? So now I'm kind of in a dilemma.
yeah, you did kind of
Yeah.
you kind of screwed yourself by calling it Thunderbolt. That already sounds big anyway. So you would make a bigger play. Now you're like, oh hell.
Whoa! What had happened was that was 15 years ago.
I know. Yeah, that wasn't even on the docket. I mean, I didn't think about it either. Hey, but it worked out for me because there's a bigger javelin.
Because my goal back then, I was renaming them or coming up with new things all the time, or new designs, and they were the bigger planes.
Right. Inception. Never mind. Hey, another person can have the Zeus. That's fine as long as they're not in. And besides that, we ran across this problem anyway, man. We talked about this. We were like, dude, if you got the same plane, same name as another person, it's okay at this point because there's so many planes out there. There's just almost no way of like. And what are you gonna do? Rename yours? I mean, dude, a Zeus is a Zeus. It's like I'm not changing it. Screw it. I like it. I'm not gonna hold anybody to that just because somebody else has got the same name. I'd like to try to. Okay, we'll be here. Oh God, he's gonna do something really weird now. All right. So yeah, they're like yeah. If you see somebody else's name is playing as a Zeus, so what? Yeah, I mean, like she was saying, there's like a lot of Zeuses out there. So who cares? If you like the name, you put the name on there. I'm not. We can't hold anybody to that. So what?
Yeah, there's no. I'm not gonna bother with that crap.
It was cool when we were small and a few of us didn't have a whole bunch of planes with the same names. But when somebody as prolific as OAE there's got like 40 and you've got 20 and I've got 20, nah, screw it. I don't want him to start going to oddball old dead Latin names just to have something that's gonna work. Yeah, you should do that. Don't let it interfere. And we'll try to get the designators worked out for it. But we got to get yours, Robert. We got to get yours slotted into these sheets too. So, like you said, I did share this link with you, right? You gave me the email and you got the links to these sheets so you can see them. I think. So, I mean, if you want to like reference, you can tell what's what. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to see who these are shared with. And we just make sure, like, we got to work on what the hell this last name. Yeah, you are shared with the sheets, Robert. We got to work on these last ones to just figure out which ones are what this last letter can be. I mean, okay, you don't want to use J. M is out. Zeus is kind of A K is all right. I mean, M would be great. It's just like I said. We've got the missiles in there. I can't really do that. And like J sounds really cool. I mean, at least you could explain it away. Like he said, joint makes sense to a certain extent, since we're trying to explain like 4 or 5 or 8 roles. I mean, joint's kind of like he said. I mean, if we ever actually do designate the planes that we build together, like if you guys and us get involved in a collaboration and build a bird, okay, it might have to have a J designator. I don't know. I don't think it would matter, but it's just something to consider. So J may be locked out. K is a good one because we're never going to use it. G is a good one because we're never going to use it. Yes. We're very limited. We're very limited as to what's left.
Yeah.
That's the important one we can't use, missiles. That's used. Basically, all we have left is G, K, J, L, N, and Z. There's not a lot left. It's like J, K, L, and N. I mean, could use L. Can't think of a word for it, but that doesn't clash with anything I can think of. Nothing gets called L. There's no prefix for L. Sorry, I'm being quiet, but I'm just thinking because, like, what could that last letter be? I see where he's coming from with the Z, but the Z also is like, huh? I said, oh, you kind of got to do it because you're the one that's going to have most of those. You're the one that's probably going to have all of those if I look back on the aircraft sheet because I think all of your planes are the only ones that have 4 or more rolls attached to them. I mean, even like my Osprey from the 85 Osprey, that's 5 rolls, but technically only 4, and 2 of which are the exact same thing. So it really was an attacker, plain and simple. Even with 5 rolls, it still only got 1 prefix. But you have this, you mix up the bomber cargo transport fighter, or the bomber cargo trainer fighter. Like, okay, this is... I'd almost want to put MR in front of it, except of course then it's like, oh, so it's a rocket. No, it's not a rocket. I don't know. We don't have much letters left, so if we could just figure it out, we'll be all right. makes it sound so easy. Just figure it out. We got this. We're not even that bad. Oh, so anyway, so yeah. Okay, we debated the roles. We were like, okay, we seem to be, I think we're okay with the way they are. Everybody knows that, like, we have the core 5. There's a few others to go from. There's a few more than that. And you could branch out to having a max of like 30 of them or something. So it's all well and good. And apparently we're happy with that. I mean, I'm happy with that, you know. It just makes for more squadrons and stuff, which I like. I like that. And we were talking about the designators, of course. We're still kind of talking about that, but we pretty much haven't figured out. I just that multi-role one, man, is going to be tricky. But whatever, we'll get it figured out. Mostly for his sake. It'll be easy. I can finish the sheet without knowing the letter. L is not for anything that I can. That's what I'm saying. That I can think of. I wouldn't use it in the paper air corps for anything. There's nothing. What would L be? That couldn't be used in anything else. Even real world. I mean, the only thing in real world designations that flies are usually the ICBMs, the nuclear missiles. They're called LGM-118, for example. The Peacekeeper was the LGM-118. The Minuteman, like I think the Minuteman 3 is the LGM-54G. So the L is, I think it's just for land-based, ground, or something like that. Don't ask, I can't remember that far. I've got my Airman magazine here. I can look it up, but I don't want to. It's something about it. The L goes in the ground because G is like ground-based, and M is obviously missile. So in real world designator, again, yeah, everything we have could be L, but we're not doing it that way. So in the paper air corps, you could use L for anything. That's what I'm saying. There's a few letters that are just not, like G again, that Mark brought up. G is never going to be used for anything. Z is never going to be used for anything. K is most likely not going to be used for anything. I'm not going to call any of the planes killers. So K is pretty much off the books. But like you said, but like we pointed out too, again with that joint thing, like if it's got joint roles, the IVPAC designator, I'm assuming you don't want the IVPAC designator to clash with your personal designators. Either that or they meet up, they mean the same things, which is all good. I mean, it's just you will definitely be the only one that ever has a D. I'm not gonna designate my drones. I never do that. That would just be saying like certain phases are. So I guess I could because it's like every phase that happens to be in the pad right now is the DF5. Okay, but it's I'm not building special drones. I just use old planes. So, and that's what I mean. I mean, like we can use them; they'll just never clash. And I still had it written in here for the letter is allocated. Like it could be used for defense. I think, right? Yeah, we do have a tendency to use it for defense, even though we kind of don't use the designator. It's the same thing as cargo. Like everybody knows, we call them airlift, but a cargo plane is C something. But I mean, like squadrons don't use that. It's not cargo squadron. It's airlift squadron. So it differs when you go by the designators, which is again another thing that makes it tricky. I don't know if they all have to stand for anything. As long as just if you can be happy, you come up with the Latin name for something that means a lot. You know. Um. I'm going all in here. I'm gonna see like okay, so. Oh, did I say we don't use I? It's still M. Mm-hmm. Like we use I as an interceptor. Okay, we don't use I often because it's just considered a fighter. But the same thing as defense. But we sometimes do differentiate. And needless to say, D is allocated because if you're not using defense, you're using interceptor, and you're using fighters. So or drone. That's where I was going with that. I'm sorry. If you're not using D for defense, you're using D for drone. So drone D is out anyway. See, you were thinking U as utility also, and I was thinking U as umbrella again because it's an umbrella role. But again, I mean, if you don't want to clash, you don't want to clash. I get it. We just need to find an answer to that. Again, yes, but it doesn't matter because like you're probably going to be the only one that has this designator. I work very hard to make sure that I don't have like I will never build a fighter that's a bomber that's a trainer that's also an attack plane. It can't. I don't see it happening. Most of my planes are like sized differently. I don't want something this big be in my fighter anymore. I used to. Now I've tried to size down, especially because they store better when I go out to fly. But personal view, no, I'm not looking down or up at anybody that does it. So I mean, you've got a plane that does it all. It's really cool. But find me a name for it so I can designate it, man. How about W for wall to wall? I think I don't. W is available because W we can't think of anything either. The thing in real world that uses W is all weather, and I mean, granted, we'll have planes that are all weather, but I personally don't even think that it's going to matter if. I don't think it's going to matter if I ever call them something that's all weather. I don't care. There's future possibles. Not used aren't on there at all. Well, like I said, J, K, L.
Jillian. There's no K. I'm looking at J. Jillian.
M for minute, meticulous.
Jumble. K. Lots.
Lump. Oh yeah, there you go. The L could be for lump. It's all lumped together. I mean, it's seriously, it's weird sounding, but I mean, as long as we know that it is what it is, the L designator could be used. If you want to say that it is lump, load, lots,
Jillian.
would you stop? That's going to be joint. I did say JKL, but joint we kind of like J for joint aircraft, so I mean, I should probably put that in the future lettering. And besides that just sounds weird anyway. But L, I said lump, load, lots. I mean, it's all kind of funny sounding, really. But as long as we know that the L means multi-role, I mean, there you go. We don't ever have to call it by that name. Yeah. I get it. But the point is, we just know L means multi-role. That's all that would matter. So we could use that.
One of the details was the AC unit. It probably isn't a dorm room, but it probably isn't mom's house. It's probably someone's college.
If that's the case, I'm gonna start calling your planes that have more than 4 roles L1, L2, L3, and that's the way it's gonna be. I kind of dig it. That's not bad. I can finish that sheet. I'll end up sharing it up there. Robert, you check those sheets out and then see like you know your planes. Just put a little graph in there. Try not to alter those unless you have to. Well, like the IVPAC rolls. I'm sorry. Use the IVPAC roll sheet that we have in there, and like use it to figure out which ones you have that do the closest thing that you have in the description, and just fill in the blanks, and then I can slot them into squadrons and stuff, because I know which bases you've got. So then I can get the planes there, and we'll be all good. That way they'll belong, and that way I can get them numbered and crap. Oh, wait, you're just gonna give me more work to do. I'm gonna make up the sheet the way I'm gonna finish it the way it is, because damn it, I want to finish it the way it is. And then I'm going to have to go through and make yet another column for the ones like you're talking about that are just active. Or the ones that are active now. Because that's going to be a total whack job. I'm just trying to... I got to think about going back through and like looking at all the ones that we have and trying to make it so that those planes, just the ones that are active have numbers. And I'm like, oh God, it's this one. Oh God, it's this one, forgetting the B1, the C1, and the F1. So the F1 is going to be... Bloody hell, I don't even know what it would be. I don't know which one the F1 would be. I'm trying to think of what's the oldest active one.
Who knows?
The Vanguard.
I'm
Probably
back.
the Vanguard.
Had an IT emergency.
Isn't that an IT band? Oh no, they played at the concert the other night.
You're so stupid. No, I had an IT emergency.
Oh, that'd be an ITE.
Yeah. Yep. So I had to go fix the other computer in there real quick. Amazing, right?
OIE hasn't responded, but like he did bring up L, and we were looking up L, and L might be the way to go for multi-role.
Whoa, my chat had to scroll.
I think that's going to be the only one.
That's for me. L is for me.
Well, I'm just thinking like he's going to be the only one that has it anyway.
Low.
So I mean, if he likes it, that's fine. He can keep it. I mean, I try to stay away from planes that have 3 or more rolls. So it's like okay,
L,
fine.
but what?
Well,
For
Chrissy was helping out with it
for
too. But
lots
we were saying,
of rolls.
Yeah, exactly. Like lump.
No.
Dude, we don't ever have to say it. It just means something. She was saying Legion because it is many. I mean, dude, it makes sense.
This is the way.
Yeah. I know. Load, lump, lots. But again, L is nice for all encompass. It's either that or W for wall to wall. What do you want to go
From
with?
the window. Oh no, I'm not going to.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's right. Yeah, so Yeah, I know. He's gonna make it sound cool, or she's gonna make it and sound cool enough that like, okay, everybody wants a Legion plane because it does it all. Whatever, we'll lead to that. But I kept trying to keep Jay out of it because you had mentioned the joint, and it would be cool to keep joint available. So Jay's probably going to go into the letters that are possible usage. And
I'm not saying Z because I came up with it. I'm just saying Z because we ain't never using Z.
we ain't never using L either. There's no there. We will never use L. We will never use J, K, L, or Z. Those four, I guarantee, we'll never use. The others, there's possibilities, but
What
those
would
four,
Y be used for?
well, again, Y could be used for prototypical testing. That's common in real Air Forces. They use X if it's permanent test, and they use Y if it's a temporary test, possibly switching to frontline duty. Like the YF-22 was the YF-22. It dropped the Y when it became the F-22. It never changed names.
So that's like the preliminary before it becomes the final.
Yeah, like
I got you.
like
I got you.
really, dude.
Oh, give me a cookie. I can't.
Dude, it looks like an asteroid up that close. Like,
Yeah, it does. We're on another planet.
yeah.
How long was I gone?
About 15, I think.
Yeah, well, I had to uninstall, reinstall, so yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, X airplanes are never considered to go like active duty. They're permanently X. Now he had mentioned some of the N's are like permanent, but in the real world, N is like a permanent test bed. Oh, he did say the same thing, permanent test bed. So it could be attached onto something. Like the primary one I can think of is the NKC 135. But again, you and I probably never use that.
I use, and see, yeah, for local, if you want to call it local coding, we'll put it that way, and not a national thing. I use CY for my experimental.
Oh,
and
okay.
because I used count. So, do I have one around here that I actually used that on? Because that's still a newer. That's of 2019, so it's about a year old as far as when I started using that.
Okay, so see, that just goes to show, like he's saying and you're saying, everybody's got their own particular codes for them. This is just to make it so that if we were to use a designator that's universal, everybody would be using this one.
So, for this one,
which are what the fin codes do that you guys never put on there.
So you can see
that's exactly what the fin codes are for. Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah,
CY19. So that's calendar year 19.
Right.
And then the D is design 03. So that's the third design for calendar year 19. And then 02 is the actual number of the aircraft.
That's pretty cool.
So I kind of break it down. So when I look at that code, like kind of how you were talking about, when you look at the code, you can tell exactly what it is, where it's at, and what it is. So this right here gives me all the information I need to know what this plane is. And I haven't coded this one. And I may leave that on there and then put the actual plane code here for Raptor, because this is a Raptor.
Right. Okay.
So I was testing this before I accepted it, so I gave it the code. And see, this one is this is 01. CY19 D0301.
Oh, okay. So the other one doesn't have that on there.
No, it has CY19 D0302.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is number 1 and that's number 2 for the third design of calendar year 19.
All right. Well, that's cool.
As far as testing design, obviously my crap. I need to cut this tape off and retape it. It's not sticky anymore. But as far as an actual, Thunderbolt, it's got its own code already, so it's it's already past the testing phase, so it's gonna get its permanent code.
Right.
Its permanent code and number when I actually get to it.
When you actually get to it.
Yeah, because since I've built the other ones, I got to go back and look at them and say, oh yeah, I forgot to number these. Because I stopped at like 420 something.
Oh, 420, baby.
Yeah. Do I have
I
number
don't
420?
I don't think mine exists. So probably as a preliminary, I might put on the coding sheet for the designators that the L is accepted, but I'm not going to. It won't let me. It won't hold me up with the rest of them. I like the fact that you use calendar year. That's cool. I mean, we only use school year basically for just, an additional term or principle. I mean, it doesn't matter. It would only throw confusion in there.
Yeah, it's right here. 420.
What is that? Is that a T-bolt?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you actually have that one.
420.
Alrighty then.
It's the super.
I hope to have
It's
that.
the
Oh yeah.
This is the super bolt.
If that's what you're calling it.
This one I am calling it. Now I just try to figure out what the bigger one is called. That's what my problem is.
The Ultra Bolt.
421. 421
same-
is the bigger one.
You're going to have the same problem he does, but you could use all of
And
his.
This one's probably 422.
You could use all of his previous names to figure yours out.
October, November. So this one's probably 422, and this one's probably 423.
So you can use Mega Bolt, or you could use Ultra Bolt.
I know,
What
I
are
thought
all those
about-
ones that he used?
Ultra Mega Bolt.
Or Meta Bolt?
Meta Bolt. Man, I don't want a meta. No.
Or Mensa Bolt? I don't know, whatever.
No.
Gigabolt?
It's Giga Bolt.
Okay, people. So, do you want to do this? I have the sheet ready. It's kind of boiling this down to this. I don't know if you guys are ready to build one of the iconic planes here. We always have, Mark always says he's always kind of turned into a build session. We always build something because God knows it always turns into some kind of things that we want to build because we'll get an idea or something. And
Yep.
And I was just doing it because y'all have always talked. You always hear us talk about the phases, the beloved phases, whatever, right? So I figured let's give the public what they want. Let's kind of just show everybody, where it all started with the iconic phase one. I don't think the phase one's the iconic one, but when we say phases, you know what it talks about here. So, I figure we'll do a build for you on this thing. We'll put it on the IVPAC channel. We'll put it on a live show, so everybody knows. And I retired this plane anyway, so please keep in mind that this plane is now, God, 35 years old. So the design is 35 years old. So if you're like, oh, it just looks like, I don't care. I did this in 1985. It's one of the reasons why it's retired, but it still flies good. So. Without further ado, you don't need anything special for this plane, but you do need a notebook sheet of paper. It's not entirely necessary. You could use it with a regular sheet, but you need the lines because you got to do measurements. The only thing that makes it complete that you will need at the end is one single solitary paperclip. Phase ones need paperclips. They were intended from the outset to have them, because when you get to the final step, you'll know why. The plane is way too light without it. Typically the baby ones, your standard, not the super oversized ones you get that are like this size. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you want the baby one. Well, I shouldn't even say that. You want the regular size one because there are some that are smaller than this. So yeah. Anyway, so that's the size.
Fix that. That was driving me nuts. Sorry.
That is all you need. There is no. You'll obviously want something to coat it with. Or I mean, some of you won't because you won't care, but. This is the phase one. All right, let's get it.
Hang on.
All right, Mark's got to get ready here.
You didn't tell me I needed a paperclip.
Oh, here. Use mine.
Hang on. Where? Where's it at?
Here you go.
Oh, yeah. Here, thanks.
All right.
There we go.
I got to get another one.
All right.
All right.
There it goes.
All right. Oh, we got him. Okay.
All right.
So, I've got it set like this, but this is not the way.
This is the way.
Fold it in half, like so.
Fold it in half like what?
Fold it in half.
Oh, like portrait?
Yeah, portrait style, yes.
Wait.
And believe it or not,
No.
we keep the holes.
No, that's landscape.
No, this is landscape. This is portrait. See this? I didn't say fold it in half that way. Well, I mean, okay, if you fold it in half that way, then it's landscape.
Yeah.
I consider it portrait because I fold it up on itself. So
Yeah, I don't know. That's landscape because
it
you're
folded
folded because the center line goes landscape, not portrait.
I know, but I
Landscape.
don't. Whatever.
That's just me.
Yeah, that's just you.
No, that's just me. Okay, so you
Okay,
said
so it's
fold
in
it in
half.
half this way.
Now we're gonna do it old school because phase ones practically have never been built with the new technologies. I mean, I was like 11 when I first built these. Okay, so that means we're not going to fold. We're going to try to be symmetrical, but we're not going to fold it in ways that we would do now modern folding techniques that would keep everything symmetrical. Follow me? So we're going to fold this in half again,
Oh, okay. So same way.
same way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay. And yes, this is how almost all phases start, which
Yeah,
is what
it
makes
is.
it so basic. All right. Now you want to take that you had, unfold it.
Yep.
If you have a true notebook sheet like I have, the holes go to the back. That's the trailing edge.
I had
He's got one without holes.
I had like a legal pad, but it's
Yeah.
not a legal sheet. It's a 8.5 by 11.
So that's entirely not necessary. You don't have to do that. Okay.
yeah.
So why you need the lines? This is where the measurement happens. You have to measure off wherever it happens to lie, wherever your middle fold is. Like I'm lucked out and my line is right on the fold. I don't know if you guys have that or not. But you have to measure out from that line, and it doesn't matter if you have college ruled or wide ruled. I'd like to think that it does, but I'm pretty sure that actually I always tried to use college ruled even when I was in like 3rd grade. I never liked wide ruled. What you're doing is you're measuring 3 lines from the center line. 3 full widths. So like if it's the center line is on a line, you want to go 1, 2, 3, and then you want to fold your triangle on that. I'm going to fold mine a little bit fatter in the outside
You're
chain.
saying, I know you can't see it, but this is the center.
Right?
So you want to count over 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, however you manage to get it. Like if it falls into space, you just got to,
Is that where the tip goes like this?
That's where your triangle. Yes, that's where your triangle is going to be folded to. I'm going to make mine slightly fatter on the outset chance that some of you guys might have wide ruled, and wide ruled and college ruled is obviously going to come out a little bit different. But again,
Wait. So you're saying it's not going to go to the center?
it's not going to go to the center. No.
All right, you fold it
And-
and let me make sure I'm doing this right.
And if you want to get technical on it, like so you guys can
It's like
follow.
just a corner fold?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
corner
okay.
fold.
Right.
It's basically an inch back from the center line that you made. So if you have the center, this is about 1 inch away from that center line fold. And you're making your first triangle. And again, if you want to, I'm doing it old school way, so we're going to make the other one.
I got you. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay.
We're not going to make it like, we're not going to unfold it and put it the other way so we can
Reverse it,
make it
yeah.
symmetrical. We're going to make
This
it
is one,
like
two,
we would have if
three.
we were 10 years old.
Yep. Just fold the triangles to where they look like they match.
That's right. Well, that's why I use the lines, actually. I use the lines to keep it symmetrical. Because when I did that, like the 3 lines away, it was like, oh, they're gonna be the same no matter where they are, and I still screwed it up.
Well, yeah, they're going to be close because, like, nobody can tell, but my center fold doesn't fall evenly with this line. It's a little tilted,
Right, and-
just slightly.
Mine is too, and that's why they didn't meet. I had to adjust it. It's nicer to make them as close as possible.
Yeah, it's nicer to
But
fold
anyway.
them the way we fold them now, but
So you got your triangles about 1 inch away from your centerpiece. So it
Yep.
comes out with this little snub. Then you're
Yeah,
just
it's
going to
almost
take that.
exactly 1 inch.
Yep. And then you're going to take this and just fold it again. Fold it down to the center line. Fold the next fold to the center line. So
Gotcha.
it's going to come up.
So it's
come out
another
like that.
triangle down to the center. I got you. Yeah.
Yep.
I've almost made something similar to this before.
I don't doubt that you have. These aren't exactly, the
Oh,
most.
you're going
unique-
this way. I got you. You're going that way.
Yes, correct. This is like the wing pocket fold.
Gotcha.
In point of fact, it is the wing pocket fold because you're almost done already. Keep in
Gotcha.
mind, again, I was 11 years old, plus the fact that this plane was designed during a war. I was trying to get it out fast. I was trying to be technical, which is why it's got the three lines, the 1 inch mark, but I was also trying to make sure it was basic so I can build a bunch of them fast. Okay, so it's going to turn out with having a nice little snub, but it's still going to have a pretty good sweep back on the cord, broad area for the anhedrals.
Gotcha.
Of which it does have a set.
Oh my goodness. Now I know why you changed it.
Yeah, but I mean, also, if you can feel it, there's not that much weight up there in the nose. There really isn't. And when you finish form it, there's like, the wings are so massive, they counteract it. So it's why it turns it into like a attack/dogfighter, which is what its primary role is. Now, again, we're folding this basic. Right now, typically, if this was new, I'd put anhedrals on it. But we're not going to do that. We're going to give it its wings first, which is like, nowadays a no-no. But this is how I did it back in the day. And the body is kind of tall, but it's only kind of tall for me back in the day. So I'd say somewhere, it's perfectly straight. The wings are straight as possible.
On that line?
Try to parallel the bottom of your plane there with the wing fold. Mine is 3/4 of an inch. Like I said, the fuselage was kind of tall on this. I shrunk those down progressively as phases got older. So the magic was in not making the firm folds, not like unfolding and reverse folding to make sure they were even. The magic happened because we didn't do that. So I don't want to do that with this one and see how it turns out.
Did you do that for the wings though?
Yeah.
Like you did do the. Oh, you just matched them up though. You didn't.
Just matched them up. Yeah. Because I think originally, actually, to be honest, I had no intention of putting anhedrals on it. The anhedrals were a further discovery. I'm pretty sure I test flew it just like this, and it pretty much sucked. So I put anhedrals on it, and then all of a sudden, like, it found its mark. It was like, oh, this works really good. And to do this, and this is one of the reasons why, because I was trying to be technical even back then, you had to do it with notebook paper, because the notebook paper lines also help you figure out how big your anhedrals had to be. Because once you saw like how wide your fuselage was, you were like, oh, let's see. So I've got 2 lines and about another half in there. So if you got 2.5 lines there, you knew to make your anhedrals about 2.5 lines wide or deep. That's what you do that for. Because we didn't do symmetrical folding. We didn't know. So we did it like this. We're like, oh, okay. So.
Oh, mine's got a little bit of a slant to the back on it. Dagnabbit.
So you fold it. Well, the slant's okay. I mean, like I said, I try to keep it straight, but it wasn't exact.
Well, no, it's not. I mean, it looks like it does. Maybe it doesn't.
Maybe it doesn't. But again, we're not doing it exact here, so it's all right.
Oh, no, it doesn't. I thought it did. I'm so used to folding one. I thought I did fold one. I was like, no. I could have sworn I folded this flat.
So basically, you're just trying to make your anhedral about as deep as the fuselage is. About as. It's not exact. It can't be. I mean, again, an 11-year-old wasn't going to give a crap. Or at least, not a special 11-year-old. So, the basic point is it's kind of as deep. Like I said, mine is the fuselage about 2.5 inches or 2.5 lines wide, and that's about where the anhedral is.
Oh, man, I didn't go that tall.
So it's about basically the same thing here. Now, again, if you're using wide ruled, I'd say watch out because a wide ruled is going to come out a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I didn't come out that tall. How tall is your fuselage?
3/4 of an inch. But that's okay. That's just variations on the same theme.
Yeah, mine's like a 1/2 inch.
Okay, that works. That works. Actually, that probably would have done mine better if I was a little bit deep. This is probably a little deeper than mine would have been. But again, once you form it and see all the squares that you're making here, because this is basically it right here. This is it. This is the finished product without the paperclip. And you see it, it's like there's a lot of wing longitudinally and not laterally. So it's kind of like a mini flying bus.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then you're basically just taking paperclip, and what I used to actually do to make mine a little bit more deluxe was I tucked it inside the nose. So there's one piece out, but then the piece that you clipped from the inside was in the nose.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But then I also the advantage, like the paperclip does bend the nose awfully rapidly, so I used to put a piece of tape on the nose before I paperclipped it to hold it together, to hold it more sturdy, structural integrity, stuff like that. But after all that crap, that's basically
because you did it like that.
Yep.
But it goes inside the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after all that, that is a phase 1. That's it.
I mean, it's a little off on the wings, but yeah.
It's there is almost nothing to it. It is almost perfectly like 90 degrees. The wing to the fuselage to the hedrals.
It's kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, it still looks like, I won't say looks like, but it still has the base design of the rest of them. It
does, yeah. They got better because they shrunk and got broader, and they didn't use that 3-inch body gone. Yeah, 3-line body that was gone. So.
Yeah, you definitely have more of a fuselage of what I got here, where it's like a 1/2 inch.
Yeah, you got a lot more broader wing out of it that time, yeah. But again, that's nothing that I didn't do. I've done that before. And yours will probably fly a little better than mine will because you've got broader wings.
Yeah, I'm just
mine will fly.
Else out like that.
If any of you guys do this and you fly with like one like Mark made there, where it's a thinner fuselage and broader wings, yours will probably glide, I should say, a little better. If you manage to make one like I did, where it's quite narrow and yet long, it's going to be more of a stunter. At least it seems to be. I do remember taking this to South Carolina back from Germany. It was designed and built in Germany originally, and it was a stunter in Germany.
8.5?
In South Carolina, it kind of flew a little bit better.
8.5?
Yes, it is 8.5 inches wide, long.
What's the width?
My width is 3 1/4 width.
3 3/4.
Mm-hmm. You gained a little bit more, so yours will be slightly different. But yes, that is the phase 1. That's how it flew, and you can experiment with it if you wish. You can take the paperclip out and fly it a couple times to see what it's like without that. In which case, it flutters a lot because it's pretty light, being notebook paper and having holes in the rear. With the paperclip in, you may get some good glides out of it. I think it kind of depends on the weather you're in. And again, like if you build it broad-winged and narrow fuselage or short fuselage, like Mark's version, versus mine with the taller fuselage and narrow wings, you will definitely see a distance difference. That one will glide better than this one.
Yeah, this one definitely looks like it would glide a lot more because there's definitely more wing, and it wants to spread out more in the back.
Yeah, it does. That's the thing. Yeah, the notebook paper, it wants to, like, after a few flights, these things will like basically come. Your anhedrals will start going off at 90 degrees, and the body will start coming off. But it is crucial.
It's already stressing like it wants to open up.
Yeah, the anhedrals do need to be close to 90 degrees. That was one of my tipping points on it, too. They had to be.
Yeah,
I even have that in the original draw-up of plans for this thing, which I still have.
But it's still got that wing pocket. Still got that wing pocket swoop.
Still got that wing pocket swoop, yep. It even has it back then. Because it already starts to form it. It already starts to pull it up.
Yeah, it's still like pulling the thing up, and I'm like, no.
It's
but
simple
it's
design.
stressing the wings. Well. You can tell already. Like, man, this is not even that bad. But it's got this, this pocket here. This pocket here is trying to separate from the actual wing itself. It's like, nope, I'm pulling away. I'm pulling away.
And I don't know, like I did play with it too. Again, if you guys use normal loose leaf sheets or you have the holes, you're more than welcome to offset the holes and put another one in the other side so they're at least symmetrical.
I don't know. If you can, I don't know if you guys can see this. Probably because it's so bright. Let me see if I turn this off. Boom.
Oh yeah,
But I don't know if you can see that. Maybe.
the
maybe not.
flaring, the
Well-
flaring of it near the tip.
Well, this right here has got like a bubble.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of mine does too. It's hard. You're right. It is harder to see.
Yep. Yeah. I see
There,
it.
it poofs,
But
it poofs
yeah,
right.
it
Yep.
crinkles right here along this stress, like the stress on this anhedral.
That's the one with your fold in it, right? This is the side you folded because the other side is open because it's not folded.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no wrinkle in that one. That's the fold causing that.
That would be interesting to slit that open.
Oh yeah, that's where this led to. I was like, I don't like that so much, and then thus ideas were born.
Just
I
because
was like,
this wing
"Hey,
pocket
that."
stresses more because of that.
Well, obviously, if we used modern folding techniques on building the same thing, that would not happen, because they would both be that way, or they would both be the other way. We would never let this happen. One open, one shut. That's asymmetrical. It's probably why the originals did become dogfighters and attackers, because everything about this plane is asymmetrical. I've got a hole in one wing that's not in the other wing.
Yeah,
I've got
and
one wing that's closed and the other wing is
Yeah, and
open.
I definitely did not fold my anhedrals the exact same.
No. How big are your anhedrals? Damn, I did a pretty good job. They're almost 3/4 of an inch too.
Half inch, which is about the same as my fuselage.
Okay, well that's actually mostly all that matters if they're pretty close to what fuselage.
Yeah, that's all I did. When you said that they need to be the same, I was like, okay, well I need to fold it the same same distance down.
That's basically all that matters. But you guys see also when building it, it's pretty durable. I mean, you can't. It's flimsy, and yet you can play with it and not worry too much about damaging a wing or anything. Like he pointed out, there's stress, but there's not so much stress that if you were to say unfold it like this and put your code on it, which is what I did because I didn't think about it when I was 11. When you can unfold it and put your code on it, it'll snap back to where it needs to be so it can fly again just the way it was. Just a couple tweaks, and all of a sudden, boom, it's right where it needed to be again. Again, this wartime design kind of dictated exactly how quickly I needed to be able to make this thing.
Yeah, I got you. No, I got you.
So yeah, besides the
Man, I
besides
haven't
the
seen one of
three
these
parts-
in forever.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah. Phase 1.
It's been at least. Well, what was out 15 years ago? What'd you have out then? The 3?
3s and 4s, yeah, mostly 3s and 4s.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I was like, you weren't too far along. I mean, what you were in the 200s, I think.
I was in the 400s.
Were you in the 400s already?
I was probably just cracking 400s. But you should
I
remember.
think so. I think you did crack 400. Which it took me 15 years to do.
Because the one you probably saw that you remember, and I still do have it, is 414. That was like the first and only Phase 1 I built in a long time. But 414 is a Phase 1. Yeah, I still have that one. I think I retired it, but I do have it.
Because you keep the numbering, even though 1 through 9 or 50 or whatever you got, they all still go in sequential order, right?
They are still part of the Phase family, so yes, they still get a G number, G coding, because this is the G family. This will have a G. Yours can have a G. Anybody that built it out there, okay, yeah, I suppose. I don't know how I'm going to keep track of all y'all's. I mean, the number might have just shot up. I have no idea how many. You're more than welcome to write back and tell me how many of them you built, and I will try to coincide. It would be nice if everybody maybe help me broach 1,000. That would be cool.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just post it in the comments below. The next number, follow it.
Yeah,
you
just
know how to
by all
count.
means, tell me which one you built and what number it was. Tell us when it was built because I don't even know what number it is. Okay, but his is after mine, so
Yep.
it's G something, and mine and his are G. I think 6. I don't think I broached 700. I might have. It's either the late 6s or early 7s. I have to check my numbers again.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my date coding on here.
Yeah, by all means. I can only put a G because again, if you guys build some, let me know. Give me your numbers, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what number phase 1 you do have. Part of the phase family. Yeah.
You're positive it's a 600 series?
I am 74.3% sure it's a 6. I might have broached 700 though. I've got quite a few bodies. I've got quite a few bodies in Pryfly.
Okay, well then I won't put a number on it, and I'll let you.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't put a number on it either.
I did not either. It's got a G, and that's it. I've got to review my numbers.
I put the G on it, and I left it there.
It could be 700. If it's 700, it's early 700s.
Yeah, 6, maybe 7, but probably 6.
If I had to guess, I actually honestly think it's 712. Because I seem to remember going over 700, but I'm not positive. So
I don't remember. Because that's a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. That's why it's hard for me to keep track of them. I could code
that's
every
why you
other
need
one
your
and
own
know which one
inventory
they are.
sheet.
Well, exactly. You're right. That's why we got to do the inventory sheet. So but that's also why, I need to know my numbers so I know which ones I've got so I can put on the inventory sheet, hey, this one's green, this one's red, whatever.
And by the way, the position in Tampa is a supervisor inventory manager.
Oh, good. Well, then you're keeping track of my inventory.
I'll be keeping track of inventory. I mean, I kind of do that now, anyways. I mean, I won't say kind of.
I'm going to give you the sheets, and you're going to keep track of all this crap.
If people don't know, government IT is like 50% inventory, depending on your job. The other 50% is customer service. Well, I'd say it's like 90% customer service you deal with, 10% troubleshooting, and then within that, you're 50. I'd say probably 70% inventory, and then the other 30%, you're kind of just building new images, new computers.
Yeah.
Because literally, like, you're going to inventory more than you re-image and swap out.
So you see,
so it's kind of crazy. And there's other stuff that goes into that too. Just by the way,
I'm right-handed. I have my little code on this side so that obviously when I'm holding it, I can tell which number I've got.
Yeah, that's the way I do it. I only put it on the side where when I hold it, I can read it.
But on the other side, it's visible from upside down because if you take pictures, when you take them outside, they usually lay flat so they don't go flying off, and you can see them easily from a distance away. So I have them big on the upside down on
fuzzy.
the other side. Well, you can't see it because it's right there, but there it is right there, see? G, don't know. This is reserved for where the code would be, the fin code. The number's going back there, and then this tells you the date. That's always on my planes.
Yeah, now it's blurry.
I can see it.
Barely. It doesn't like you right now. You held it too close, and now the camera's like. There you go. Now bring it away slowly. It doesn't like it.
Well, fine. Be that way. See if I care.
Yeah, it doesn't like it. The whole
but
table.
in case you guys have windy areas, this comes in handy to lay them upside down so you can tell. That's why I like to do it that way. Plus, again, if you're a far distance away, you could see them from a longer distance. So.
No, I can't. It's blurry. I'm all the way here, and I can't read it from there. I can't read it where you at.
Is that better? No,
10 states away. No.
10 states away.